Hello, hello, brave, beautiful warrior soul friends. Welcome to another Conversations with Kristin, that beautiful part of your day where you explore human consciousness from the inside out. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you sharing time and space through this YouTube platform along this magical, miraculous healing journey through life. So today I want to talk about how you can create a vision board for your unfolding healing journey of life. So I talked a little bit about how it's important to shift our focus towards where we want to go and not just notice where we are. Because if we're in a place of pain and we're thinking about pain and we're talking about pain and we're focusing on pain and all we see is pain and all we feel is pain and all we think life is pain and all we can see in the potentials of our futures are pain. Oh, Pookie Bear, say hi to the camera. Hello. My little beloved Pookie Bear. So if we're focusing on the pain and that's all we can see into the potentials of our future, then all we're going to experience more of in life is pain. Because that's where our focus is, and what we focus on grows. Where intention and attention go, the energy flows, and energy creates our neural networks. And our brain's neural networks creates our perceptions and experience. And so if we're only focusing on where we are, then we're never going to get somewhere different. So it's important to allow for a shift of focus towards the energies that we want to grow in our life. If we want to grow beauty, peace, hope, love, freedom, liberation, healing, prosperity, abundance, joy, we're not going to get there by focusing on the anxiety, depression, hopelessness, helplessness. We're not going to get there. So it's important to shift the focus. But that's hard. How do you focus on something that doesn't exist? How do you focus on something that is not your reality? And so one tool that I've used when I was in the deepest depths of darkness imaginable was allowing my social media feed to be profiles of people who had the type of life experience that I desired, rather than only allowing it to be types of life experience that I related to. And this was a gradual shift because, of course, there were parts of me who wanted to see people who were in the same life experience that I was having because it helped validate what I was going through. It helped me connect with other people who are struggling with the same kinds of things. And that was beautiful. And I'm forever grateful for that. But as I realized how scrolling through my newsfeed made me feel, I realized that it wasn't providing me with hope of life being different. It wasn't providing me with hope of life being better. It wasn't providing me with hope for life offering me something other than what I was already experiencing, which was really, really not good, really, really unpleasant, really, really painful, really, really uncomfortable, really, really terrifying. And so it started first when I began following Christina Sutra on Instagram. And she's just one of infinite examples. I followed people on social media who had a vibration that I wanted to experience. And I would look at her painting and singing and dancing while I was laid up, curled up in bed, hopeless and just miserable and suffering, mind, body, spirit, everything in me was suffering. But I looked at her freedom, I looked at her bliss, I looked at her well-being, and I said, that's where I want to go. That's where I want to go. And so I began spending more time looking at the stories and posts on Instagram and other types of social media, Facebook, YouTube, whatever. I began to look more at the energies I desired to experience rather than the energies I already was experiencing. And little did I know it then, but that was actually changing the way that my brain was being activated. It was growing new neural networks of possibility inside of me. It was expanding the potentials that my energy had to experience life in alternate ways than only the misery of where I was. So I really encourage you to play with this tool on your social medias. How do you feel when you're scrolling through your newsfeed? How do you feel when you're looking at the video suggestions on YouTube? How do you feel when you're scrolling through Facebook or Instagram or whatever platforms you use? What feelings are you noticing inside of you? Does it feel good? If not, play a little and explore following people who make you feel good. When you look at their life, or more specifically, when you look at the energies that they're experiencing in their life, it brings you hope, it brings you beauty, it brings you laughter, it brings you joy, it brings you desire that feels good to pursue. Allow for your social media newsfeed to be a vision board of the types of energies you desire to experience. And I'm not talking about external life particulars. I don't mean follow someone who has a big house because you want a big house. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the types of implicit experiences that people are sharing, the types of energies they're encountering in their life. Inspiration, love, clarity, hope, freedom, expansion, expression. These types of energies. So it's less about what you're seeing and more about how that is making you feel. Because what you're seeing is the explicit, but that only connects with a very small part of your consciousness. Most of your consciousness is operating in a feelings-based implicit manner. So how do you feel when you look at those things? One example is when I went through a little period of trying to follow people who did yoga all the time or ate really, really healthy. Okay, at first I'm thinking, okay, I want to be able to eat healthy and I want to be able to do yoga every day. So I'm going to follow these people and then hopefully I'll be inspired to do these things. But that's not what happened. I did not feel good when I looked at this healthy food. I did not feel good when I looked at these people doing yoga. And that was a clue of consciousness. And it was because these parts of me deep within were comparing where we were with where they were. And so instead of inspiring me because I saw the energy of their experience, it crippled me with anxiety and hopelessness and helplessness and almost like a helpless jealousy where, oh man, I wish I could do that, but I definitely can't, so I'm just defeated, kind of a mentality or a feeling. And so I stopped following those and followed more artists because it's not just about the explicit. It's not, I want to eat healthy, so I'm going to look at healthy food. No. What energies do you want to experience? You want to feel inspired. You want to feel like you love yourself unconditionally, and because of that, you care for yourself unconditionally. Find those types of profiles to follow. Focus on how it makes you feel, not just what you're seeing, but what you're feeling inside. And allow your social media platforms to become a vision board for the types of energies you want to experience. Which means tuning into how you're feeling when you look at things and not judging yourself or questioning yourself, but just saying, okay, looking at this doesn't make me feel so great, so I'm not going to look at it. It can really be that simple, you know? Looking at this brings me a lot of hope, or it brings me some comfort, or brings me some beauty. So it doesn't actually matter the types of things that are being posted, it matters how it makes you feel. What types of energies do you want to experience in your life? And how can you focus more on that? Be present with where you are, validate where you are, have compassion for where you are, always. Always meet yourself where you're at. But be cautious not to only feed the energies of where you are. Create space to expand what you feed your mind. Because in each moment of every day, we are planting energetic seeds that affect the manner in which our brain becomes wired and rewired. It affects the energies that we're planting in our consciousness that grow the garden of our lives. And if we're only looking at stuff that doesn't feel great, if we're only watching violent movies, if we're only following trauma accounts on Facebook, and again, there's nothing wrong with this in small doses, but if that's the majority of what we're feeding our minds without a whole lot of beauty and other things that can bring some balance and goodness to the energies of our lives, it's something to consider. It's something to consider. So create a vision board. And social media is just one of infinite tools. It could be a series of pictures and colors on a poster board that you hang on your wall. It could be a journal entry where you describe the types of energies you want to experience. I want to dance so freely that I don't care how it looks and I don't care who's watching because I'm just completely free to be me. Create a vision board of the types of energies you want to experience. It's not about the external. It's not about the explicit. It's not about what we see. It's not about the obvious physicality. It's about the internal energy of our consciousness. How does it make us feel deep within our beings? Because that, or those, are all clues of consciousness, indicating what's happening in our unconscious, subconscious. And that's so much more of who and what we are than the little piece that we're consciously aware of about this external physicality. This is only one part of the story. The obvious aspects of life are only one part of the story. The implicits matter more than we can possibly understand. It matters to our consciousness. It matters to our well-being. It matters to the way that our brain is wired. It matters to the way our nervous system regulates. It matters to the way memories are processed and accessed. It matters to our satisfaction and our happiness, our hope, our health, our well-being. It matters. The energies of our lives matter. So create a vision board. What do you want to experience? Pick a few key words and then start to feed yourself those energies in whatever modalities you can. Beauty and freedom and unconditional permission or allowedness and magic. These are some of the energies that I crave. So I like to go out in nature. I like to go out for hikes. I'm going to go hiking right after this. Because getting away from the man-made stuff for a little while reminds me how expansive the world is. Reminds me how divine and perfect life is. Like this tree right here, this incredible tree, it stands in stillness for its entire life. And it never compares itself, and it never fights, and it never strives, and it never worries, and it never feels sad. It's in just perfect stillness, perfect peace, perfect beingness. And it contributes air and beauty and all these amazing things that other aspects of life benefit from. Like, how comforting is that? I can just be and be enough. When I look at that tree, I'm reminded of that. So choose the energies you want to experience more of in your life. Find ways to feed yourself those types of energies in whatever way that looks like. Because it doesn't matter about the external specifics. It matters how it's making you feel, what it's activating inside of your consciousness. Every feeling and every thought are a clue of consciousness, indicating what's happening beyond our direct and immediate awareness. And following those clues helps us harness our power, because then we can have more insight into our beingness of what's actually happening inside of us. 95%, approximately 95% of our consciousness operates and exists beyond all direct and immediate awareness. That's a really large number. That's a really big amount of us that we don't know about right away. And that part of us is worth knowing. That's where our power lies. Our power to be our best selves, our power to create the life we desire, our power to love ourselves, our power to have more authority in our everyday decision making, from the way we choose to respond to life to the way we choose to take initiative in our lives. Every reaction, every perception, it all comes from our consciousness. So when we befriend our consciousness, we reclaim authority in the unfolding storybooks of our lives. So what kind of energies do you want to experience, and how can you feed those to yourself? There's an infinite number of ways to feed the energies of our lives. Have fun, get creative, play, explore, and see how you feel in the process. And if you're looking for something that's going to help redirect you towards those good feelings, remind you that your consciousness is worth it, I have products on Teespring. And there it says, I love my parts of consciousness, and I am a unicorn, spelled unique orn, of consciousness. Mosaic mind pride for people living in a multi-conscious mind. And there's shirts and mugs and all kinds of goodies. And so whenever I go and make a cup of tea, and I get my I love my parts of consciousness cup out, there's just this really, really powerful implicit reaction within me where I feel connected to myself, because I'm reminding these parts of myself beyond my awareness that I love them and I care about them and I'm here for them. And as much as I'm focused on doing the stuff I need to do out here, I will never forget them. I will never abandon them. Our intention and our attention are powerful. So where are you directing them and how? So check out my Teespring store. I also offer a variety of products and services through my Consciousness Consultancy. So please feel free to explore those. Your healing journey is worth investing in. The best is yet to come, and we have only just begun. This healing journey invites us all. Thank you so much for being here, my brave, beautiful, beloved warrior soul friends. I'm so grateful for you, and I really look forward to continuing this magical, miraculous healing journey of life as we share it alongside one another. Namaste, soul friends. The divine expansion in me sees and honors the divine expansion in you. I'll see you next time.